And I find it funny because they even said here, the cheek, you do not have a place at any of your unis. You are now in clearing. Hi everyone and welcome to Precious Little Things. Honestly, this is going to be an amazing video, amazing convo. Why is it called The Good Part? You may be asking me. It's because it's taken from the story of Mary and Martha. And Martha was just doing a lot. She was doing the dishes, she was busy. And you know what? We all love Martha. Yes, we do. My sister's shaking her head. We actually do love the Martha. Who serves us at parties? It's the Martha. Otherwise you'll be serving yourself. We all love a good Martha. When we ask for tea, who's gonna get it for us? Martha. Anywho. But Mary is the person who is able to sit at the feet of Jesus and say, I want to put what you have to say as my priority. These conversations are just going to be a series of people that have decided to put God first in whatever way it looks like to them, in terms of their career, their education, their businesses. Okay, so that's it from me. Let's go straight into the video. And then they have this thing that they believe that God has put inside of them to pursue. Now, how do you reconcile those two things? What is a godly way? Would you advise somebody perhaps to follow their parents and then hope that God will just allow them to do what they've been called to do? Or should they have a conversation with their parents? So what did you do, and what advice would you have for somebody in that situation?
I think in that situation, it's so important to be open. Like I think in my case, I waited quite long, and it struck because my mental health actually dipped. I think that was the first time that I was actually really aware that my mental health was ailing. It was getting worse, and so it got to the point where we almost had our end of year exam. So this is obviously end of year 12 and stuff, and it was like, oh wow, mum and dad can see I'm stressed. So basically, they could see signs of a lot of stress, and that was just the time to be open with everything. And I think the best thing is for you to be open before that stage, to make it very personal to you and say, I'm struggling with this. I'm struggling with understanding my purpose and what I'm supposed to be doing, and really just let them know everything. Not that, oh yeah, I don't think I want to study it because I don't really care about, or I'm afraid of the hard work. Even if that's your thing, that you're genuinely afraid of the hard work, you're putting in hard work, but you're afraid of the realities of this course or career or something. Let them know that, so that it's not, so that parents are not in the loom, because I think it's really hard, like, for parents to understand teenagers, to understand us when we have busy lives, ambition, all of that kind of stuff. And sometimes you think that they don't want the best for you, or that they're being ignorant to it, or maybe that's because you're not opening up as much. I know it's not easy, but the best thing that you can do for yourself is to be open. And if someone rejects that openness, they've rejected it. You have done your bit to be open, and every parent that wants the best for their child will listen, understand, see that pain that their child is going through. Let them see your pain. If you have to cry in front of them because that's how you genuinely feel, don't hide emotions. That's another bad thing. Don't try and act strong. There's no need for that. It's just the equivalent of aging, like being too old for your age.
Yeah.
Don't be doing that. Like, let yourself feel what you need to feel. Let yourself be the child that you need to be. It's not easy being an adult. Hard, like, no. Allow yourself to feel, because that helps your mental health, your emotional health, and helps your parents to just connect with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so important, because that is a real thing that people are going through, especially now. People our age, in year 12,
Yeah.
year 13, maybe even year 11. I don't know how young people are when they're going through this. But with coronavirus now coming along, and now people are actually working from home, their parents are now having more say in what they're doing and what they're studying. And they're now beginning to have this conflict where before they thought they knew what they wanted to do, perhaps now that their grades, they're not having an exam, people are just giving them their grades, and they're thinking, gosh, you know what, I can't actually do what I want to do with these grades. I can't go to the university I want to go with these grades. I can't be where I thought I'll be with these grades. Or, you know what I mean, just circumstances change, and now they're in a position where they're seeking God, and God has told them, do this. And they're like, but God, oh God, I can't do this without my parents being in agreement, and my parents are saying no. And there's wisdom in parents, there's understanding, there's experience with parents as well. So I think what you said is really important, to just be open and to be able to have that conversation with whoever's your guardian, and say, okay, this is the reality of what I'm going through. You know, I'm not discrediting what you're saying. I'm not discrediting
Mm.
the power of your advice, but I'm in a place where now I literally, I don't know what to do, and I'm struggling trying to do what I
Mhm.
thought was right for me. So yeah, that conversation, that advice was perfect. Have a conversation, pray about it
Yeah.
before you go, commit it to God, because honestly, God will help you. He'll guide you. He's your shepherd. He'll give you wisdom. That's the biggest thing that you
Mhm.
might need in this situation, and He'll help you to get through it. So thank you for that,
Mhm.
princess. Okay, so
Awesome.
before I stopped you, you're talking about your story about your
Mhm.
process. So you said that you were in year 12/year 13, and you spoke to your parents about how you're
Mhm.
feeling about doing medicine. So what happened after that?
So yeah, after I spoke to them, they were like, okay, they really understood, and they were like asking me questions about like my mental health, how I'm doing, and this is also your time to educate them about things that you understand, because sometimes like, you know, people aren't like encyclopedias; they don't know everything, so it's important to like let them know like how you are feeling. And I just remember them saying, you know, we'll support you throughout with whatever it is, whether it's you don't go for it this year or you change courses. We just want you to be happy, and I'm just really grateful for that heart of parent,
Yeah,
um, and like yeah, just really for that security that I felt. And so later on, I was able to say, yeah, I'm not going to do medicine, and I'm going to take a gap year. And I
yeah,
think that was another fear that they had because with gap years, there's this stigma, I think, that people are just lazy with it, or that they'll just earn money and then they'll never want to go back to studying. You know, once they see money, the love of money will like make them not want to go back. And that's one of the fears that they had. They thought, well, does she want to go to uni anymore? It was a lot of confusion because it was confusion for me. I was thinking, you know, am I good enough to go to uni? So I really sympathize with people who, you know, are wondering can they get the grades or not? Because in year 12, right at the end, because my mental health wasn't too good and stuff, I got good grades, but they weren't exactly what I would have wanted. They weren't like high grades, but they were passes, you know. They were good enough. And so it was that thing in trying to, but when I reflect on it, gratitude, whatever season you're in, is so important. Not being comfortable in it, but being grateful and looking for positives, because it's a great thing to be able to get through an academic year. Not everyone does, you know. Um, and so it was really important at that time to be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to take a gap year.
yeah,
And they're still confused about it. But I'm just gonna have to be honest with them. Princess, what are you gonna do in this gap year? Oh, pressure. But then it really had to get me to start trying to do something because I
yeah.
started to get really reluctant, really lazy, not wanting to dream, not wanting to ask God, what do you want me to do in this gap year? You've led me this way, what do you want me to do? And that's another thing. Are you dreaming? Are you scared? Like, are you thinking, oh, my day's results day is in, you know, a few days or has been, you know, depending on what country you're in, and just thinking, wow, I'm not sure if I can get the grades or I haven't gotten the grades. What do I do now? Are you going to dream? You know, it's really hard to stay stagnant and to stay paralyzed, not having any vision of where you want to go. And that's another thing. The vision to dream is an important one because that's just the beginning, just opening your mind to dream, to let in God's dream for you. And so that's what I did. And then it was perfect. Like, you know what? I really did. I just give him all of the glory because I remember I was looking through the bulletin. My school has this thing called a bulletin, and they wrote like different opportunities in it. And I remember I got to this section, something just jumped out to me. It was saying like a kind of teaching assistant position where other year 14s um help like mentor people in like primary school, it might be secondary school, sixth form, and also teach them specific subjects. So if I have a specialism in chemistry, I can help kids who are in like GCSE years or maybe in primary school, something like that can help. And I was like, wow. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna apply for this. Something was just telling me, Princess, go. I think I clicked off it, then went back. And then later on, I was like, hey, the deadline is in 2 days. Me who likes to read everything, write everything, needs to look at the job description, everything. I was like, I don't think I can do it in 2 days. Again, not
Mm,
having that much faith. But God was like, just go and email the woman, because there was a, you know, the HR, the recruitment people. And
yeah,
so I was like, okay, let me go and email her. And he was like, ask for an extension. I normally don't do stuff like this because I can be shy like that. And so I went and then I emailed. And later she was like, yeah, princess, that's fine. We'll give you a week or two. Like you can take as long as you want. Like we've extended it. And I was like, wow. I was like, okay, this is something. So I was filling it out. I had questions. She said, oh, your line manager. She was like, oh, actually, yeah, the person who could be your line manager. And I was like, what's going on here? And she was like, he'll answer your questions and stuff. So I was like, okay, fine. So he answered my questions. I applied, went to the interview. It was over Skype, because Corona. And
Right.
then I went to that, did it. It was my first ever interview for like a job, and then they said we'll get back to you in a few weeks. I was like, okay. And then that day I was supposed to pray with a friend, and so I thought this was her, and I was about to say hey, and then I was about to just say hey and say her name, and actually it was them, and they were like, "Oh my days! Normally we don't do this, but we're giving you the job." And I was like, "Wow!" I was
Hallelujah.
like, this is amazing, and it was the perfect job. It has UCAS support
Oh,
for when I'll need to go to uni and stuff,
yeah,
and it's just the perfect thing to be helping children and young people coming out of COVID-19,
yeah.
and just drawing on that thing of like motivating people, helping them, sharing my experience of sixth form with them, experience of a gap year with them, and also helping them with the academics. Plus, I need it because let's face it, 3 or 4 months of no school, I don't even know how to do simple maths again. So, like, to be helping them, it just really, really encouraged me. And I was like, this is God written all over it. I had no idea that I would find that and do it.
And you know what, guys? You don't know Princess, but this role is perfect for Princess. Princess can relate to kids. She's got that lovely, loving, tender heart. This role is just perfect for her. It has her written all over it. And also the practicalities of it as well. That will help her for UCAS. Because if she got another role, let's say like another internship or something, they might not help her with her UCAS. And she needs to get references. She needs all the help that she can get to get to the uni that she wants to do. You know, no matter what course you do, you still need help and references to do
Yeah.
it. So this is just like a God thing, and like it's so
Mhm.
amazing to see how God orchestrated it. And it's so similar
Mhm.
to me, this is because when I was trying to do my apprenticeship, like there were so many roles that I applied for. I'll get to the last place, the assessment center or the interview, and they'll just say no. And I'm thinking to myself, I saw people who were there. I saw the other, you know what I mean? And in my heart of hearts, I was confident. I thought, I've got it. This is my role, And I
Mm.
left this interviews thinking that I was very well prepared. I was like confident in what I had done, but that was the thing. I was confident in what I had done. I realized that honestly, the interview that I prepared the least for, I was fully myself. I got that
Mm.
role because that was the role that was literally designed for me. The things that I'll be doing is what I've been doing for my whole life. I've always been in the media team and we're helping out and stuff like that. And I never thought I'll get a role in tech. Basically, I've got a role in tech, in fintech. So I'm
Mm.
going to be working for like an investment and asset bank, and I'll be like helping them to like with their technology stuff. You can still tell. You can still tell. You can tell I'm an apprentice because I didn't even know all the deets. But yeah, this role is. I've been doing this for my whole life. I've been doing stuff like this for my whole life. So this role is literally perfect for me, and it's just the same thing for you. When
Mm.
it's God's plan, it comes around so easily. He makes everything work out for your good, and it's like
Mhm.
you're not striving; it just happens. So, Princess, you don't know how happy I am for you. Like, this
Thank
is
you. Me
looking
too, sis. I'm so excited. Like, he's so good, and it just reminds me of like God. Like, he just always has that plan, and I just think of that time, like, what was I doing differently? I was really like starting to seek him a lot more. I was like reading my Bible a lot more. I was being open with people at church, and just letting people in and understand what was going on, even at school. I just, again, I thank God for teachers, because there were specific teachers that were just so helpful,
yeah,
helping me with my academics, helping me with personal life and stuff. And that really, really helped me, to just really go back to God.
yeah,
And he just made things clear to me. And I remember like that time, even my grades started to go up. Like they went up. I remember being able to look in that bulletin, like, and just read that, okay, that's the thing, apply for it, write the whole thing, because we needed to do like a personal statement type thing.
yeah.
And yeah, when you're like confident in God's plan, you will have urgings. Like there's kind of like urgings that you get. that this thing is the right thing for me to do, but there are doubts. And I think when you have doubts, you have to just go back to God's word. Um, and you just really have to, like understand why you're doubting as well. Why, like, because the thing of like, oh, I don't think I'm good enough to do it, or I don't think I can do it, why is there that insecurity there? There's probably a deeper insecurity, of why you think you can't do it, as opposed to just, oh yeah, I don't think I'm good fit enough for the role. Do you have the grades to do it, the qualifications, everything? Like, you do, but why do you think that you can't do it?
Yeah.
God knows that you can do it. And so, yeah, I just think it's so important. Again, like going back to God's plan, like the best way is to really seek Him, to seek Him with all of your heart, not with some of your heart. If I was doing it with some of my heart, I don't think I would have found that. Yeah, I think I would have given up when I saw the 2-day deadline. I was like, don't have time for that. I think I would have given up at that point. But when I was seeking Him with all my heart, I was like, you know what, this isn't something I normally do,
Yeah.
but I'm going to email. If you the worst you can get is no, like that's literally the worst. But when you do it, things happen, and I know that I was really being urged to go and just ask, and look what came out of it. Because I know me doing it, like relying on my own strength, would have just tapped out at that point. I would be like, no point.
Good point.
Yeah, no point. So now what would I have been doing for my gap year? I would have been probably scrambling all over the place looking for something. Corona came down the line. Like, you know what? Like, it's crazy because I think at that point when I applied, was it even Corona time? No, it was like slightly before. I had no idea that they were going to cancel our exams. It's crazy.
Wow. Can you imagine?
Hmm.
Oh, no, Princess, you're so right. Because I think even when you spend time with God and you read His Word, I think one thing that was so important for me was that I began to dream again. Like, I began to think,
Hmm.
you know what? Great is He that is in me than he that is in the world. I
Yeah.
can do this. I can apply for certain roles without being afraid. Like, God is on the inside of me. I will not
Yeah.
fall. You know what I mean? And there's a confidence that comes with the fact that you know who you are in Jesus Christ. And that comes back to it. Even if you know that there's a God plan for you, even if you know that, I'm seeking God with all my heart, like I'm spending time with Him, He's revealing things unto me, He's revealing to me where to go next. Even though you're having all of that, if you don't know who you are in Jesus Christ, you won't have the passion, or even you won't have the confidence to go and fulfill what God has put in your heart to fulfill. And a lot of people
Hmm.
are watching this video and perhaps like you're already in uni, or you're already finishing uni, and you know where God is leading you to go next, but you have this fear to go because you're thinking I'm not good enough. But as Princess said, all of these things are lies, because literally greater is He that is in you than he that is in the world. When that comes into you, when that becomes every fiber of a being, when that becomes who you are, you begin to look at things and things that you're afraid of doing before, and bam, you start doing it because you realize that actually I can do this because God is on the inside of me and I will not fall. I'll put your Instagram there so that people can see your Instagram, and
Okay, cool.
if you follow, DM you and get into contact with you. 18th of August, and I've just checked that, bro. I didn't even get into uni in the first place. Unsuccessful. Declined, unsuccessful. I didn't get into my firm or my insurance.